So when all these crises were happening and all these, it was as if I was trapped. I could feel and sense that I was trapped, because if I want to do something, if I want to think and ponder and address this problem, I can only do it in my private space, in my room, in a particular location. Only then I can take care of the issue, or at least ponder over it. It's as if I cannot even open my mouth to other people to process it, or get out of my home to get a fresh perspective, get out of my of the building for a while, to get somewhere far away or take a vacation and just process what is going on, because something seems wrong here. It's like I'm trapped and I cannot get out, and this is not okay. So I tried my best to get out of the town for a while. It did not happen. And I was in the middle of preparing myself for some important exams, and every time I sat down to study, he destroys my mood. Like all of a sudden I get angry and throw my books away. All of a sudden I start crying. He used this hypnotic emotional states to totally play games with me, my psyche. I'll tell you why I keep using hypnotism here. So the first few times when I bumped into this individual, none of my rare interactions with this person was accidental. Everything was planned. After he gathered information about me, he decided this is the perfect time to lure this lady and put some hypnotic states and suggestions into her head. That is why I started believing in the soul bond and love and all these sudden affectionate things towards him after that interaction with him. Before that, I did not give a shit about this man. I could see that something is changing energetically, but I still did not fall into the trap. That's why he noted, he studied me for more than a year and did all the things he could do, and he figured, okay, fine, let me go all in. This time I will put the thought in her, I will place whatever I wanted to place in her so that she'll become my puppet. So for the first few interactions I had with him, I don't even remember his face. I may bump into this guy from a distance of about 200 meters or 150 meters, not close enough, far enough, but not too far. And I will just look at him. Like how we do, like we are walking on a street, we keep an eye out, we just look at somebody randomly. So that's how it happened. I have to look at this guy. I looked at this person randomly, and it's as if a sheet of air came over. That's why I mentioned hypnotism. That's pure hypnotic trance. He induced that state in me, that couple of interactions I had in the very initial stages. It was a blank. I forgot everything around my circumstance, around the environment. There was nobody there, only him. It's not even like I was staring at him continuously for 10 seconds. No, I stared at him for about 2-3 seconds. I tried pulling my head away, but it was as if I cannot. It's not in my control. And I went into a trance state. I could not even remember this guy's face or eyes. The environment became a blur and I forgot everything. No noises, no faces, nothing. It was a blank, quiet place. And that is when this man threw in the hypnotic suggestions about whatever he wanted to do to me, whatever emotional state he wanted to induce in me. It's like putting in settings for a toy. That's how I can say. So he used this person as a toy to play games with, simple as that. And he used that hypnotic state to induce certain settings and emotional states. And then after a while, it was as if the grip is gone and I turned my head around. I did not know what was happening. It was very, very, very strange, out of nowhere. Suddenly all the voices and noises came back. It was as if I'm suddenly thrown back into this world all of a sudden. I'm walking. So my walking did not stop. Even though my eyes and mind, everything stopped. I could see that I walked easily 120 meters. I easily walked without even knowing what's happening. And I was thrown back into this world again. and all this voices, noises, people, things, and everything became more aware. The quietness and the hypnotic state I was in was dropped off, and I was confused. Initially, I was very, very confused. But again, one incident was enough usually to throw someone into that state, maybe. But he used this state to induce certain things and hypnotic suggestions into my mind subconsciously multiple times. Because he checked the outcome, right? How is she behaving? He checked, he found out, oh no, she's still strong enough. She's still not playing the game that I wanted to play. So he uses other such random incident to again create an artificial bumping into him accident. And miraculously, every single time when I bump into this man, there is not a third soul in the picture. It's always me and him. This man is a psychopath, a criminal who knows his game not only in the physical world. He's the worst kind of psychopath because his goal is not to get caught. Even before his game began, he was making sure that none of this can be pinpointed at him. If things really go bad also, nobody will be able to come close to him enough to point out and show the finger at him and say, you are responsible for this. The escape is like the perfect murder, where the culprit is never found. This man is the most dangerous kind. So that's why the hypnotism and other black magic and other dark forces that they use, because all that happens is in the invisible, non-physical realm, and nobody will be able to pinpoint it to him, and he can destroy lives and still get away with it. And with the level of confidence and expertise he played this game with me, tells me he has done this a lot of times before. Not few times, a lot of times. Imagine the lives that he has destroyed. So this man used the hypnotistics and I fell for it. Usually in my best circumstances, I would have never fell. But I mentioned the crises in my life that happened and the damage to my self-esteem, and I was in a shaky ground. My foundation was not solid. I did not have enough support system, and I did not know how to share what was going on in my life, and I was kept in the middle of this pressure cooker of confusion and self-doubt all the time. Every time it's like, what's happening, what's going on, right? Imagine being in that fight and battle alone. The battle is here and in the psychological and spiritual realm, and your emotions are out of whack. You're totally out of your own game and your own element, and you lost control of your own rails, and you don't know what's happening. And then in the physical world, crisis after crisis after crisis is coming. You don't know how to prioritize, what to address. You're lost, you're confused, you're weak. Now this is how humans respond to crisis. It's normal. It's the predators that take advantage of it. That's what I'm trying to point out. So he used hypnotism, and eventually the hypnotism alone was not enough. So he has to induce whatever he wanted to induce. He induced whenever he wanted to. And he made me run behind him. I can't believe to this day, how did I become a very different person? How did he turn me into a person that's not even who I am? I ran after him. I was seeking him. I was dying to see him. I was crying for him. I was sentimental about him. I remember just looking at his car or looking at his house window or looking at something that would remind me of him would make me go into emotional breakdown and cry. Like, why? Why would I even do this to a man who I never even spoke to? And that is why he induced the hypnotic state, where he told me we are the soul bond, that everything is justifiable because of the love between us, and that I have to just keep going at it instead of, leaving him. I have to hold on to this precious, beautiful bond and all these things. Our own beliefs. That's why I say this war is psychological and spiritual, because they induce certain false beliefs in you. They make use of your crises and general human weaknesses and human tendencies, and they exploit you to the core. And when he figured out that even in the middle of all this emotional overdrive that I was in, he figured that even in all those states, I still was not giving up on myself fully. I was not fully robotic. So he did not like it. So one day in the middle of another crisis in my life, so like I said, he kept sabotaging my exams, the important exams I was preparing for. I did not pass any, it's not even a single exam in which he was there around me. At least 7-8 exams, all important ones. And those exams come only once in a year. That's how much they not only steal your dreams, they steal your time. They steal your love, kindness, goodness, time, effort, everything about you. They steal your dreams and they feel powerful about it. And after everything, he realized she is still not breaking apart fully. So the last thing they want to do is to kill you because they want to steal your life. So in the middle of another crisis, I was lying down on the bed. And out of nowhere, I'm a very strong person, very optimistic, and I know my capacities. So I know that one failure or 10 failures doesn't define me. I'm that clear of myself, and my dreams are clear, my abilities are clear. So out of nowhere, I was sleeping, lying down quiet, and there is this thought of suicide in my head. I was there thinking about it, and it's not just a thought. He even induced how to plan it. Like there are the certain tools in your home right now that you can use to kill yourself. And I was thinking how to use that tool, how to use it, when to use it, all that. I was literally ideating and planning. It's not just a thought. It was a plan and ideation. And after doing it obsessively, obsessiveness is one thing you have to look out for because it all comes with hypnotism, because it is not in your control. Why is it not in your control? Your own thoughts, your own body. And still you feel obsessed. You feel the compulsion as if you can't help it. Watch out for that. It's not yours. It's a spiritual game. So obsessively thinking about it for a while. And I almost thought it is justified that my life is worthless. Because after all the trials I did in my life, all I see is failures. So redirecting failures as I am worthless. Because that's not who I am, but he made it happen. Just in the last moment of ideation is the action where you act upon it. That is when I stopped myself. Remember when I told in my previous videos, you may think whatever you want to think, but when it comes to acting, taking an action, you do it with your heart. True. This happened to me. My heart was still in the right place. I couldn't act on it. I couldn't harm myself. So I just stopped myself, suddenly came out of this hypnotic state, told myself, that's not who I am. These things don't define me. I have been through more horrible things, but these few failures doesn't mean much to me. I still have a lot of life, lot of hopes, lot of dreams to build. How come I'm thinking about ending my life? This is not who I am. And that is when he slowly pulled the suicidal thoughts out of me because it's not working. Because if he pushed me further after that point, because I became conscious and aware, if he pushed me after that point, I would have recognized that there is something that's out of my, zone that's affecting me. I'm smart enough. So he pulled back, slowly he pulled back. I could sense it. So I became normal. Suddenly there is hope. Oh, it's okay. We can do something tomorrow. It's not like the end of the world. And I went back to sleep. After that, whenever he tried to kill me, it was not through suicide. Because Vanilla knows her value. She is not gonna kill herself. No matter how powerful my black magic is, no matter how powerful my hypnotism is, she is still so strong that she is not gonna ruin her own life despite my suggestions. I was the toughest victim he found. I could say this. And next few times when he tried killing me, it was not through suicide. Accidents, poison, and pure black magic. I had to go to emergency hospital for 2 times. Out of nowhere, something hit me. And what I suffered was so much that I had to be taken out to the emergency ward in the middle of the night. I'll talk about it later, but I'm telling you guys, this narcissism business, this hypnotism and black magic business is not a joke. When I say spiritual wickedness and spiritual emptiness is narcissism, that's exactly what it is. They take away everything, including your life, because anything that's bright and light and full of life reminds them of their own darkness, their own emptiness, and they are unwilling to fill their own emptiness with good things because they have no capacity for it. So the only thing they can do is redirect the destruction back to the good person out there with full of life, optimism, hope, joy, smile, dreams, and they will ruin it. They will go to any extent to ruin it. They live for it. As long as they can destroy people, they will live. And they think they are powerful for it.